got to say, I think it's a very positive step. You know, Stuart Downing certainly brings a little bit more experience to the role, but Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think, excites all the England fans, and as a result, that front four, if you look like, it's going to be one that's really exciting, and particularly with the ability Oxlade-Chamberlain has to not only create but to score goals.
Also sends out a clear message, doesn't it? Roy Hodgson, in the build-up before England left this country and travelled out to Poland and Ukraine, was saying this is perhaps about the build-up to Brazil in 2 years' time, and let's just put this slightly in perspective here. Is this a clear indication that he's looking ahead to the World Cup in 2 years?
It's a clear indication that Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think he's going to be a world star, Roy thinks, and why not? And I think it makes sense for him to start on the left because he played in front of a very experienced fullback in Ashley Cole, who's at the peak of his powers also. And that's our left side, their right side, is going to be a very interesting battle as the game progresses.
Now, we heard Roy Hodgson when he announced his squad talking about Oxlade-Chamberlain in particular, how he was impressed when he'd seen him play for Arsenal, not only in this position but also in the middle as well. Talk us through a little bit about that.
I think that's where he wants to play. I think he feels he's a centre midfield player, a creative centre midfield player, playing that hole behind, which, you know, like a dropped off number 10 that Wayne Rooney likes to do. I've got to say, you know, I think it's sensible for him to play out wide because I think his options aren't as wide. When you're in that hole, you need to be very, very clever, very aware. And Oxlade-Chamberlain, a young man, I think this allows him to focus on attacking Debussy and also doing a defensive job when Debussy goes the other way.
Right, well, we'll come on to perhaps what is his dual role, especially with Ribery and Debussy coming down their right flank. But let's talk about this formation then. Joe Hart in goal, we knew that. Yeah. And then it's the 4-4-1-1. What are the advantages of 4-4-1-1?
I think everyone thought maybe Roy would go 4-4-2, and I just don't think at international level you can afford to do that. It particularly works. You can't get enough of the ball in the crucial area, which is midfield. So what they do is Young will play off the striker, and as a result, that gives a three. So you get Gerrard, you get Parker, and you get Young around Diarra, Cabaye and Nasri. So there's a match up there. And also it allows you to get a foothold in the game. And actually Young's very, very adept at that. He's got good pace, can score a goal as well. And so I think it works on both fronts.
With the form that Mexes and Rami are in at the moment in particular, would you have been tempted to go for Carroll over Welbeck, or are you happy that Welbeck appears to be the one?
Well, I mean, Welbeck took his goal very well. I mean, Welbeck's had a very good season goal-wise as well, and Andy, I think, has come onto a very good bit of form. There's no doubt that that's an option that Roy will certainly go to if the game's not going right. And you're right, I mean, I watched Mexes and Rami against Estonia. They looked less, and he was very unhappy. In fact, Laurent Blanc criticised the back four about how they defended. So Andy Carroll could be a go-to player if they're getting enough. And you think about Milner and Oxford, both can deliver great balls, as can Young, and as a result, Andy Carroll may be a very, very good substitute in the game.
Well, let's talk about Young. What are we expecting to see from him?
Well, if we just look at what Ashley Young possesses and what he's got to do, it's a very crucial role. That we look at this area and where he's going to float, and I do think initially Young's role is affected by Welbeck about where he's going to stand. And what Welbeck needs to really do is concentrate on just that area there. You know, don't worry about threaten behind. So, you know, make sure defenders are pressed into action. As a result, now Oxlade-Chamberlain, he'll be out there at Debussy, keeping that distance wide. And that's when you get that sort of situation, it allows Young to do what I think he's very, very good at, and that is popping the holes there, as well as being lively enough to go there and there. And I think that's the key. You know, allow him to come off into the area. He's got to be creative, allow him to roam in them areas, pick it up between. I think if you look at the team, the most suspect area of France's team is their back four, you know, certainly defensively. I think Ashley Young's clever enough to pick up them areas.
Okay, what about the wide men here? What about this man and this man? Do they have to push up on the fullbacks, because they do like to get forward and is attack the best form of defence in this
I think certainly when if the ball's, say, with Ashley Cole here, it's very important that we do get width on the left-hand side. It's different here, I think, when the ball's here, certainly Milner can drift in there, and he's very, very good at that. I think what you get with Milner is you get a fantastic selflessness. He's prepared to put in a shift for the team. He'll track back with Evra. He may well switch with Oxlade-Chamberlain inside, but when I look at this now, in one fell swoop, I think Roy Hodgson's it's a very enticing front four. This could quite easily happen here. That Oxlade-Chamberlain pops in there, and Young comes out and plays there, and Oxlade-Chamberlain plays in there. He could even be out there, and Milner. There's a fluidity now, and that's what I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's brought to it. So the wide men, I think, will interchange, as will all the front four. You see a situation where maybe Ashley Young's playing centre forward, Welbeck's right. That's the fluidity I think we have to have. And I've got to say that change that Roy's made, I think is one that they won't be too much looking forward to. I think there'll be a little bit of concern about Oxlade-Chamberlain playing his French back four.
Well, along with Oxlade-Chamberlain, we had
bit of a legend among the Reds of communism. There he is, Lenin, a massive statue. You can see just how big he was. Down and see some of the people across the street. And if we turn around, the Red Rose. Watch out, there's someone walking along. There we go, almost a collision. The Red Rose of England. And talking of England, there are the fans. The red of St George is everywhere. Look at the banners. England. Hello, Tony, Gavin, Gary and Dave. Baldy Bobs. West Bromwich Albion supporter, I think. Carlisle United. Bury. And a bit of Brentford, Essex Bees on the end there. Yeah, look at, you see over there how they're beginning to gather. This is the hub. This is the hub. This is the hub where they're all gathering for the game. Cheers, guys. They're in the mood at last. Hi, guys. You all right?
Yes, not bad.
When did you get here?
I got here today from Sheffield, so...
Wow, okay, long journey. Was it straightforward?
Yeah, we stayed over Gatwick last night and then 4 hours this morning and then fly back tonight, so can't wait.
Yeah, is that what you're doing? You're coming out for the games?
It's a bit day trip, yeah.
Okay. And what about you? Same for you?
Yeah, same with me. My brother.
Okay. What do you reckon to tonight?
1-0 England. I'm confident myself.
Yeah. And what do you make of the weather and the welcome that you've had?
Brilliant. We've had all these reports saying that we're going to get this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but it's been brilliant so far. The Ukrainian people really took to us.
Oh yeah, that's true, that's true. I've got the thanks lads, enjoy the game. Watch the steps here, John, we've got the steps. Hiya, you alright? When did you get here?
We got here in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Delayed flight. Our cab broke down in the middle of nowhere, but we're here, so who cares?
Well, enjoy the game. What about you?
Yes, same here. Got over Sean last night. It's been good so far.
Flying in and flying out?
No, we're going to Kiev in about 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the prospects overall for the tournament?
I hope we get through the group stages. That'll be good. But yeah, as long as the weather's good and the beer's cold, we'll